The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. With your hosts, Joe Bond.
You're awful.
And A.J. Applegarth.
It's Sin Shu Chu. It's a mouthful.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name's Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixpack.net. With me, as usual, AJ Applegarth. What's up, man?
Not too much. Just ready to get some pod going here. Talk some baseball, maybe a little basketball. See what's going on.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty, I don't know, call it a newsy show, I suppose. There's not a. We just figured we'd get you caught up. There's a lot of things that have happened in the last week. Pretty big topics to cover. So we didn't need to get into like who's hot, who's not type of thing. Just kind of talk about all the things that are going on. But you mentioned basketball, and the NBA draft is tonight. It's about 9:50 p.m. Eastern right now as we record this. I'll be honest. I don't know a ton about these guys. I'm pretty sure you don't either. Obviously, Zion goes number 1. Not a shocker. Ja Morant went number 2. Definitely not a shocker, especially since the Grizzlies traded. Damn it. What am I totally blanking on his name? Mike Conley. Thank you. And then the Knicks took R.J. Barrett. I mean, that was pretty much 1, 2, 3 for the last 3 months, right? Now, depending on if the trades actually go through, which I think they're pretty much set in stone here, it looks like Atlanta's taken DeAndre Hunter, who I liked coming out. A little bit of an Otto Porter clone, in my opinion. So he's not super exciting, but he's gonna be a good replacement there for Prince, who they got rid of. Cleveland took this guard Garland, who I definitely don't know a ton about. Minnesota took Culver, who I don't know a lot about. The Bulls took Kobe White, UNC guard. That guy's intriguing to me. He I can't tell if he's actually good or not, is my honest opinion with him. I think he played for North Carolina, big ball handler, 6'5" point guard, pretty big, but I was hearing something today on ESPN Radio. His wingspan is not very big, so defense could be a problem for him. New Orleans got traded their 4th pick, which is why Atlanta got Hunter, and New Orleans picked up a couple trades. Got the 8 and 17. They took Jackson Hayes. I don't know who that is. The Wizards took Rui Hachimura. Apparently a pretty big forward for Gonzaga this past year, so whatever. I don't know if that's good or not. Again, I don't know a lot about these guys, but Cam Reddish is gone. PJ Washington from Kentucky is gone. I'm just going to skip through and say some names that I know. And then, of course, our boy Nikhil Alexander-Walker, he goes to New Orleans as well with the 17th pick, so that's cool to see. Do you see the picture of his? Yeah, right. Do you see the tweet and pictures of him in his suit?
I did not yet. No.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna send this to you, or just look it up or something, man. Just look up Nikhil Alexander-Walker's suit. It's so sweet, man. It's like maroon. It's definitely like true Hokie color maroon too, and then he's got like orange stripes across. It's pretty tight. So. Me and our
if you get it out, or I'll I can just search it.
I'm trying to think of where I know somebody sent me a link to it. Probably Jason, actually. And the more I think about it, here it is. I've got it. I'm gonna send it through Hangouts right now.
I see it.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight suit. And me and Jason were talking about it. We were like, where can we get one of those? I'd wear that to work. I don't even like wearing suits to work.
Nice.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Sweet.
So
I like it.
Anyway, I mean, that's pretty much all we got. I mean, look, the closer it gets to the NBA season, we'll do the NBA special show that I always do. And I'll be able to break these guys down more. I honestly don't follow a ton of college basketball, so I don't know all these guys. Landing spot and opportunity to be able to even get minutes is a huge thing. Is a rookie, so we'll get to it then. But it's exciting. NBA draft is here, and that's pretty much all I got. So.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of quick words. Obviously, we already pretty much knew the top three, like you said, and a lot of these guys seem to be going in order, following the majority of the whatever you want to call them, mock drafts or whoever that the experts do. I do like seeing Goga Bitadze. Hopefully, I didn't completely butcher his name.
You probably did.
The player from Georgia. He was the one that earned all the fame either earlier today or yesterday. I saw it earlier today on Twitter that he's sitting at his table and there's no reporters because he's sitting next to Zion, and all of the reporters are swarmed around Zion's table.
No.
And it's like, I mean, you got to feel for the guy like that. And I think the tweet was like, when you get your media day table put next to Zion on draft day or something like that. And it was just like, I mean, all of these NBA guys reached out to him, Dwayne Wade, and a couple other guys were all like, look, use this. Like, this is your fuel now. Like, tape a picture of this, in your locker, go out and grind and this and that. And that's great to see that, he's got a ton of support, and he's not like any kind of slouch player either. So, this guy's going to be a pretty important piece for the Pacers. So I'll have to talk to my buddy about him.
They've got centers though, so that's actually kind of an interesting pick. They've got big men.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a fairly interesting pick for them. I mean, that's one of those ones where it's like the developmental type player, because I don't see where the playing time's coming this year, but we'll see.
Well, everything that I've read on the guy says he is pretty, NBA ready, because he's been playing in the Euro League already. So, I mean, he's 7 feet tall. He's got a 7'3" wingspan, 9'2" standing reach. I mean, that's crazy. So,
barely jump that high.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if I can jump that high.
Yeah, I don't know if I can either.
But yeah, I mean, I think he's got some, things he's got to work on with his defensive game. But either way, it's a pretty good pick. And then I saw that the Sixers traded up actually and took from Washington Matisse Thybulle from Washington. So that's pretty interesting. I was seeing him go into the Sixers in a couple of the drafts. So he's a small forward though. So, it's kind of interesting pick for them to see what they're going to do with
the Sixers have a great
Butler.
Five, and
yeah.
So
but are they all going to still be there? That's the problem.
True. But I mean, like, I don't think anybody going to the Sixers is going to be somebody you're targeting in fantasy, just because where are they going to play, and like where's the usage coming from? Their team is so good. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's whatever. That's depth at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to move on. We've got a pretty packed show here, so without further ado, let's get to our beer of the week.
Beer.
You can go ahead. What you got, man?
Well, I stopped at the beer store earlier this week, as I mentioned to you, and got a ton of new beers to quench my thirst, I guess you could say. Shout out to Christo's Discount Liquors in Glen Burnie. Guys always have stellar selection of beer, and the last couple weeks that I've been in there, it's just like, it seems like it's even newer. Everything seems to be new again, so it's like, all right, great. But tonight I decided to go with my 16-ounce pounder can, Southern Tier Brewing Company's Lakeshore Fog Hazy and Juicy IPA. It's a 6.5%, but it's really good, man. It's I gave it a 4 or 4.25 on Untapped. I just checked it in. I don't even remember what I put on it.
I can tell you. Hang on, 4.25.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's definitely tasty. It's got a nice bitter flavor to it, but it's not overpowering. So you get the notes of the different fruit aromas and stuff like that coming through. But yeah, I like it a lot. So I'm happy with my choice.
Nice. So for Father's Day, I went to a place just down the road that opened up not too long ago called dang it, I'm Brew House, something like that. Damn it, what? Man, I'm blanking on this just like
Bar
you blanked
or,
on yours. It's like a restaurant type
Okay.
thing. They have a bunch of Brew Belly. Thank you. It's like a small sort of like restaurant thing. They serve pretty good steak and cheeses, actually. You'd like that as Philly boy.
Oh, nice.
It's supposed to be like authentic steak and cheeses, which obviously it isn't, but it's pretty damn good. I mean, I've had steak and cheese from Philly. It's pretty close. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But they get a bunch of local brews. They serve them on tap, and then they've got a beer cooler that they serve. They sell some stuff out of. And when I was there, I got a flight of beers, and then tried this last one that I ended up picking up. Was like, this is damn good. It's from Oliver Brewing Company. It is called This Floor is Snakes. It's a double IPA. It's the most ridiculous name, but it's awesome. The can's pretty cool too. I know you can't see it because of the setup we have right now, but it's like this.
Yeah. It's
like this. I don't know, Olympiad type of dude, and he's got like a bunch of snakes like all over him, and he's got an axe, and he's trying to. It's just kind of cool looking. Anyway, it's number 4 edition, so I guess they do this every year.
Okay.
It's a pretty bitter, pretty hoppy, definitely beer, but all the good hops, Centennial, Mosaic, Simcoe, that type of stuff. 10%, dude. So this is legit, and it's a pounder can. So if I start slurring my words at the end, you'll know exactly why. This thing's pretty strong, and it tastes strong too. So definitely got to be in the mood for it, but it's a good beer.
Yeah, I like getting those that you just know. You're like, you see the percentage, you're like, yeah, that makes absolute complete sense. This is just one of those punch you in the face.
Some of them were bad though, man. I've definitely had some ones where you're like, oh, that's just too much. It's not too much alcohol. It's just like, no, you tried too hard on that one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's get to it. We got a bunch of news and notes this week, and we're gonna start right off the bat here with the trade that happened last week, and Edwin Encarnacion traded to the Yankees. A bit of a kind of a shocker, honestly. The Yankees, many believe, me included, that if they're really gonna compete for the World Series this year, they need more pitching.
Yeah.
Herman's been good, although he's hurt, but started tailing off right before he got hurt. Maybe it was because of the injury. We'll find out relatively soon, I think. Tanaka's been okay. Severino's out still. He's supposed to come back, I think, in the second half. And after that, it's, CC's kind of meh. And A.J. Happ, is that who it is? It's just not, it's not great. Like, if they really need to compete, they need a good at least number 2 guy. And Madison Bumgarner's been rumored to them. Not that I think that would really save them a lot, because I kind of think Bumgarner would get shelled in the AL, and especially in the Yankee Stadium.
I mean, he hasn't been great this year.
No, exactly. I think he's going to get absolutely.
I don't think he would want to leave there.
No.
I think he really likes being in San Fran, and
I think it's really going to be his choice at this point. But
true.
Anyway, back to the Yankees trade. So, a lot of there's a little bit of a confusing move because you've got Aaron Judge and Stanton coming back, and Stanton already is back. So it was like, where does Encarnacion, Stanton, and Judge go? And it was, so they, especially because Clint Fraser has been raking, and so okay, so what do you do? Well, they sent Clint Fraser down. Again, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, clearly Encarnacion, Stanton, and Judge are better, right? And kind of a no-brainer. You got to do this. You've got to send him back down. He's got options, so why not? But look, we all know, Encarnacion's going to play, and he's going to do well. It probably helps him out just slightly. I mean, he's already good, so whatever, right? His stats are up on the slide deck here. You can look the last few years. I mean, even though he's getting up there in age, he's still just hitting bombs. Like, it doesn't stop. So you're going to get it. And if anything, this year it's just going to continue even more because now he gets to play half his games in New York, where it's a bit of a bandbox. But for Clint Fraser, man, I want to ask you, like, what do you do with him in fantasy? Is he worth holding on to, hoping he gets traded, hoping there's another injury or something, or is he just cut bait and move on?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, depending on the size of my league, I'm probably dropping him. He's already been traded once. I mean, at least once. I know. I want to say he started with the Reds organization and then came up and came over to New York. But I just think they have so many bats as it is, and once they're healthy, you're not going to be choosing a Clint Fraser over a Stanton, a Judge, even an Encarnacion at this point. And you got Voit there, and he's been doing pretty well. So I think you could potentially platoon the two of them, but I don't know. I mean, where's Encarnacion going to play? He's going to be your DH.
So that was another question I had for you, and a thought that crossed my mind, which I didn't see a lot of places. And, maybe I'm just panicky because I've got Voit on one of my teams. But I wonder if there's going to be days where they're just going to try to give, Stanton a day off in the outfield and put him at DH, and then what do you do with Encarnacion? Well, throw him at first base and then put Voit on the bench. I do worry about that. Is that a legit concern, or am I overthinking it?
No, I don't think you're overthinking it. You do have to worry about where they're going to put him too. I mean, I just think that, like I said, they have so many different bats there, and now they're bringing in another one when they really should be focusing on the pitching. And if they're going to go out and get Bumgarner, okay, great. That's potentially a decent move because of his track record and history, but we also know the track record and history of the AL East. So, it's a tough call.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Overall, I think it's going to be fine. These guys are all very, very good players, so we'll live with what they give us, even if they miss a few games here and there.
Yeah. So let's jump real quick because I have like 2 minutes to make this decision. Rich Hill, shocker, is injured. This time it's not a blister; it's his left forearm that's he's causing him discomfort. So we've got Julio Urias or Ross Stripling as our notes as who do we want to pick up here. Well, I have Urias in a league, and I can start him tonight as a spot start.
I mean, do you have a limit?
I do.
What is
our limit is 10.
10
so
starts?
And never mind.
No, I'm not.
I don't know if I can move
then
him.
I'm not starting him this week. He's probably not going to pitch a full.
My goal right now, I'm only going to hit 9.
You can't pick up anybody
unless
else.
I pick. Well, no, I could. I'm going to try to pick up Skaggs.
I mean,
on waivers.
Look, I wouldn't really worry. I mean, whatever. You're going to get like 3 innings out of him tonight, I think. But
yeah.
Anyway, so since he's changed the order on me, it's all good. I had to find my slide.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to run the show because there's no Keith. He's on vacation in Alaska. Well, he's in Canada right now. Parting up with the Raptors fans, but no big deal.
I'm moving him out of the starting spot, so hopefully he doesn't go 5 innings and somehow manage a win.
Yeah, sorry if he does, man.
Yeah.
So there we go. So Rich Hill, you mentioned he got hurt, elbow soreness, whatever they're calling it, left elbow tenderness.
Discomfort.
I think it's discomfort,
yeah.
right? So, we all saw this coming. I told you the story beforehand where in our league, our fantasy six-pack league, the team in dead last is trying to cut bait on a bunch of his players because it's a keeper league. So, he tried to get some picks. Don't blame him at all for doing it. I did it last year, and it's worked for me. He was like, "Hey, you want Rich Hill?" And I was like, "No, dude, that dude's gonna get hurt next week." And then, bam, he gets hurt next week. So, there you go. And actually, it's funny. The guy I'm playing this week traded for him instead. So, anyway.
Yeah, but I mean,
so I'm wondering. The question here is, who is the pickup? Is it Urias, or is it Ross Stripling?
I think it's got to be Stripling. I mean, the reason that I have Urias in that league is because he's starter and reliever eligible, and I plug him in a starting spot. I'm not starting 5 guys every day. In fact, I actually have almost more starter reliever guys than I do regular starters because I'm just trying to collect points anywhere I can. But he's only supposed to come in and start tonight, and then he's going back to the bullpen, is from everything that I've read on this situation. Now, at the same time, I haven't necessarily read, oh, well, Stripling's going to get the starts. He's coming in, this and that. But he's already started this year. And the reason he got pulled from the lineup and got dodgered, as we say, is because Rich Hill was randomly healthy for, what's it been, 2 weeks now? 3? I don't know.
Maybe 2 months. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Stripling pitched very well, though, to start the year.
And he did great last year for them,
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, but I'm not. I think it should be Stripling. I think Urias is the better overall talent, but it's not there yet, right? He's not ready, it seems like. He's gotten in that situation, and it's just he's been good and he's also been bad. Stripling's been consistent, good. You can rely on him. The problem is I was actually randomly watching a Dodgers game over the weekend, and I heard the announcer say that the manager said he really likes Stripling in the reliever role because he's he can be like a multi-inning guy, and he's good against lefties and righties. So he can just do everything for you. That to me says it's going to be Urias, or potentially like they're going to call somebody up.
That could be
they've got
a third option that we're not even really examining right now.
They've got a kid down in the minors right now who got hurt to start the year, Tony Gosselin, who I don't think he's going to get called up yet, but like if the Rich Hill injury kind of draggles on for a while, which it sounds like it could be. I mean, come on, I don't want to say it, but we know what happens with elbow discomfort, right? If this goes for a couple months, like maybe they give this kid a shot and maybe he works out for him. It seems to be the Dodgers, right? They always just find somebody.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's forearm, not elbow, but still,
that doesn't matter.
It's still an issue, and he's.
Issue.
I mean, how old is this guy?
39.
How the hell is he still in the league?
I
mean, well, I guess you could say the same for Bartolo Cologne. Maybe they're going to go out and pick up Cologne. Holy crap, that would be amazing.
No. Please no.
48-year-old Bartolo Cologne.
Can Bartolo Cologne please try
fireballs
to double again? That would be awesome.
That
was the funniest thing ever.
His excitement running the bases just makes me love baseball even more.
So, all right. So you're on Stripling. I agree with you. It should be Stripling, but I think it's going to be Urias.
Hey, I'm cool with that if he becomes a starter and is good, because I need starters in that league.
Absolutely.
Well, and in the fantasy six-pack league. So
Right. So, all right, man. Moving back to the scheduled program here, we will go back to Chris Paddack, who got sent down a couple weeks ago after coming off the IL and struggling for 3 starts.
Yeah.
Plus having innings being managed, which we all kind of knew was going to happen. We talked about that even a few weeks ago about him, losing starts because they're going to have to manage his innings or maybe just being shut down early. So it looks like their plan is to do the more managed route and try to string him along as long as he can go. So either way, they're bringing him up, and this Saturday again. And so, my question to you though is, in leagues, and you can break it down by the different types of formats if you need to. Do you hold, trade, or drop this guy, and why?
In a redraft league, I might see what he does with this first start. I haven't seen any of the information on what he's done, since he's been sent down, how much he's pitched and whatever. But he's been horrendous in his last 3 starts, as you have on our slide here. I mean, a 7.53 ERA, a 1.53 WHIP. I mean, the Ks are still there, but you can't be giving up that much runs when he was so phenomenal to start the year. I mean, it's like Jekyll and Hyde here almost. So redraft, I'm going to hold him for a start, maybe 2, see what he does, and then go. And then
what
after...
about what about the difference between, obviously Dynasty you're hanging on to? That'd be stupid to give him up, right? Obviously redraft is the ones where you're thinking about holding or cutting or whatever. I'm talking about, what's the difference between your thoughts on, a head-to-head type of format or a roto format? That's the one where I think it could be totally different. And I've written a little bit about this on last week's drop article, and I talked about it yesterday on the Fantasy Pros podcast. But I want to hear your opinion before I give you mine. I don't know if you've heard it yet or whatever. So,
in a roto league, I might hold him and then see if anyone wants to trade after 2 starts. If he performs well in those 2 starts, I have no problems dumping him, and even in roto, because like we talked about earlier this season, he's going to have his innings cut at some point. So, I mean, he's already been sent down once. Who's to say they don't keep him around for 2 starts and, wait till maybe Dinelson Lamet is ready to come back, and then they send him back down. I mean, I know it's, but that could be something they do.
Just bring up Logan Allen instead. Let's be real. I mean, they do just destroyed Milwaukee 2 nights ago, and I left him on my bench thinking he was going to get smashed instead. But oh well.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thinking there, and I mean, head to head, I don't think I really want him. I mean, I just don't really want him this year in any format. I don't feel like. Maybe for a couple more starts if he can get back to that first 9 starts form, and then I'm trying to move him.
Yeah, I'm more with you on that. In Roto, I'm willing to hang on to Chris Paddack in a Roto league as long as he's going to pitch. And if he's going to perform, that's a thing. If he starts pitching more like his last 3 starts, which I don't think he's going to, he's not going to be like his first 9. I mean, that was Cy Young type performances there. But
yeah,
if he can give you, even if his innings are managed and he's, pitching every 8 days instead of every 5 days, what he gives you in a roto league is unreplaceable. However, in a head-to-head league, you really get burned by him big time. There will legit be days, and it could be during your playoffs, where he won't pitch. There will be weeks where you get nothing from him. You can't do that. You can't do that in a head-to-head league. So if you can't find a trade partner in a head-to-head league, especially closer to playoff time, maybe I hang on to him now because whatever, I'm just managing my team, whatever, there's not a good pickup. I randomly got a Twitter question the other week. Oh, should I drop Chris Paddack now? There's Tanaka on the waiver wire. I was like, yeah, what?
What?
Dude's in like
What
a
are you in a
16,
4-team league?
yeah, who knows, man. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Bye-bye. But like, look, normal leagues, that's not going to be out there. You're looking at, streamable options at this point. But what happens after the All-Star break, right? And then August, guys get called up, and we always see these dudes near the end of the year these guys get called up, and they're awesome. And they can be pretty true replacement values for Paddock, I believe. So what I think in a head-to-head league is that you hang on to him if you can't find a trade partner, ride it while you can, and then closer to playoff time, you go try to find the best replacement value you possibly can. Because you can't live with him giving you zero. Like, what did it for me in our league? Now we have a 4-man keeper league. What did it for me was I already kind of had a trade pretty much in the works. Like, the deal was pretty much it was verbal agreement. Last place team, like I said, kind of dumping players. I was gonna get DeGrom. He was gonna get Paddock, who has like a 12th round keeper value, which is insane for next year. He's gonna go much higher than that.
Yeah.
Plus, I gave him a pick for next year for DeGrom. Now, phenomenal for me because I get DeGrom for the rest of the year. Good for him because he's already out of it at this point. He gets Paddock and a pick. I was like, hey, do you mind waiting? I was in a close matchup. I was like, hey, do you mind waiting 3 more days to pull this trigger? Because Paddock starts on Sunday. I could really use the strikeouts. And then what happens? Sunday morning, I find out that Paddock start got pushed back 3 days. And I was like, screw it, I'm done. Bye-bye. Kicked him off my team.
See ya.
Send him packing over the other guy. But, it pissed me off, man. I lost that start. And that's what's going to happen. So, lesson learned. I'm so glad I drafted Paddock. It worked out for me. He's been phenomenal overall this year. But it's good to move on from him at this point. And speaking of moving on, we need to. So let's talk about the next injury here. I tried to lump the injuries together, but you changed things up on me, but that's all right. Pablo Lopez, right? So he's now, we've been talking this guy up for quite some time here. And, he's been a little up and down early on, but, dude, the last few starts for Pablo Lopez has been pretty phenomenal, not going to lie. 1.8 ERA or something like that over the last 4 starts. I forget the exact stats. I had him somewhere, but I don't know where they went. This guy's been so good. And it's unfortunate that, he's now got, shoulder inflammation, probably going to get shut down for at least 2 to 4 weeks is my guess. That's kind of the timeline for those kind of things. They say it's mild, so he should be back. It could work out for the better for him, honestly, because I think he's one of those, his innings could have gotten limited too. So, that being said, the Marlins have a ton of pitching depth somehow. Granted, they got it all from trades, but it just seems like whatever happened with them, they got all pitching instead of bats. So, a week and a half ago now, they called up Jordan Yamamoto, who got called up because both Caleb Smith and Urena are hurt. So they needed a spot starter. Now, why they didn't call up another prospector there that I'll get to in a minute, he's on the slide here, Zac Gallen. Nobody really understands, but Yamamoto came out and just completely shut down the St. Louis Cardinals. Not once, but twice. I mean, completely shut them down. He has a 0 ERA in 2 starts over 14 innings. It's crazy. 12 strikeouts. It's 12 strikeouts in 14 innings. Not awesome, but you're taking it. So, now, because of Pablo Lopez, though, they finally call up Zac Gallen. And this guy's been amazing in the minors. 1.77 ERA, 9-1, with 112 strikeouts in 91 innings. And then you're thinking, okay, well, what's his control like? Oh, 17 walks. This dude's incredible. And this is why everybody was like, who's Yamamoto and why aren't you calling him up Gallen? Well, so now they've got both. So my question to you is like, nobody's really gonna know what's gonna happen, right? What's your gut though? Like once Caleb Smith and Urena both come back, or maybe just one of them comes back, they're gonna have to get rid of one of these two. Say Gallen pitches well in his first performance. Who do you think gets set back down?
I mean, it's really tough call because it's still going to be a very small sample size for both guys.
And I'm just going to tell you.
I mean, looking at the slide, obviously Gallen has, 9-1 record in 14 games started. Yeah. So he's already at 91 innings. So Yamamoto's a little behind that. Yeah, go ahead.
I need to cut you off real quick. Sorry. So I kind of forgot until just a second ago. Zac Gallen actually pitched tonight, and his night is over. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks against the same St. Louis Cardinals team. So technically, Yamamoto
St. Louis is just
better.
Like, why?
Who are these guys, and why do you keep putting them up against them? Where the hell did
these guys come from, and why can't we hit them?
Yeah, although they have scored 3 runs against the bullpen, but Miami's still leading. Yeah, but anyway, 2 runs against the bullpen. I guess Gallen gave up 1. So anyway, Gallen pitched admirably, right? Like that's a good outing. 10, over strikeout an inning. So 1.4 WHIP though. That kind of worries you. But I mean, still, that's not bad for like a first game. I mean, that's a pretty strong first outing. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. My personal opinion is they're gonna send Gallen back down because obviously there's a reason why they didn't call him up, and they want to service time his ass or whatever you call it. So that's what I think is gonna happen. But I could be totally wrong. I think Gallen's definitely worth a pickup, though. Like, if he's out there, you go snag him because he's going to be really good while he's up.
Yeah, I think both of these guys are worth a pickup. Yamamoto, he's only owned in 37% of leagues in Yahoo as it is.
Well, I'll tell you why.
I think part of that is because he's only going to start potentially – he was only supposed to get 2 starts.
Right, that's exactly why.
Now he's going to start again this weekend, exactly. So he's a 2-start guy this week, which really pays off if somebody picked him up in a weekly league and just happened to throw him in. So, I mean, that'll be beneficial. I agree. I think Gallen is the one that does get sent back. The other thing you got to look at, too, is what they've done already. Like I said, you got 14 game starts out of Gallen as it is. You got 14 overall for Yamamoto, but his innings are slightly less. So if they're playing that game of the innings and trying to figure out, where are we going to slot these guys in, or how many do we want to give them this year, it's going to be a tough call. So I like Yamamoto.
Yeah, I don't think either one of these guys are long-term keepers here, for even redraft leagues. I just think it's one of those get them by the hot hand, enjoy it while it lasts type of thing, because as soon as all their pitchers get healthy, they're gone most likely. So,
yeah.
All right, well, let's finish up the news and notes. Got a couple last quick ones here that I wanted to mention. And the first one is some news that came out, a quote from the Cardinals manager, and he indicated that he will not be returning to the starting role in the near future. It doesn't rule it out completely, but I know a lot of people picked him up thinking he was going to get put in the starting role. He's got a couple saves, got a couple holds, he's got to win because the Cardinals are down, whatever. But if you're a Carlos Martinez owner, are you holding him because you're getting a couple saves? Maybe one a week, if that, if you're lucky, and hope that he gets back into the starting rotation, or are you cutting bait?
I mean, it's from my standpoint, I'm holding him because, again, the league that I'm looking at actually going and grabbing him in is that starter reliever spot. But I mean, I really like him in the bullpen. He's the Cardinals are still favoring Jordan Hicks. I don't think I had them on my list to talk about tonight, but I did update the fantasy 6-pack closer chart today. Did my big weekly update, and pretty much added notes to almost all of the teams this week. Hicks is still getting the ninth. His last 2 outings were non-save situations, but he pitched the end of the game. But Martinez is getting his chances as well. So I definitely want to hold him. I think he's got value. So I like Martinez where he is. And if he comes back to being a starter later, great. But I think he's really thriving in this role now. And he did last year, too, at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it also helped last year. He was getting a lot of the saves, like way more saves. But still, like, you can win with, like, really high K potential, good ratio relievers. I mean, you think about guys like Hader when he wasn't getting saves was awesome for teams. Guys like Adrian Miller, same type of thing. I mean, that's Carlos Martinez right now. And then if he gets thrown back in the starting role, just, that's just a big bonus at that point. So the last thing I want to talk about, and probably not huge, but interesting enough to talk about, I feel like, and that's Cody Allen. And we all know he's been absolutely atrocious this year. He actually got DFA'd, which shocked me. Paying him a lot of money, and there's already rumors that there's like 11 to 12 teams interested in him. I think in normal size leagues, you're just running away from him clearly. But in like a deeper league, right? Do you take a stab at this guy if he gets picked up by a team that he even has a remote shot of getting saves?
I mean, it depends on who signs him, really.
Well, right,
but
that's what I mean. If he gets picked up by the Cubs, you're not doing it, right? Because they've got a ton of guys.
Well, the Cubs,
right.
That's a bad example.
But somebody's going to get him for league minimum at this point. So somebody like that could potentially pick him up. But if he were to get picked up by, say, I don't know, who needs a closer?
I mean, there's a lot of teams that need a closer. Philly potentially needs a closer.
I mean, right? I mean, like, say Philly gets him. I mean, Neris has been all right, but he's been hit or miss, as you've noted on the closer chart a ton of times, right? Like, every time we think we believe in Neris, he gets blown up for 4 runs in an inning. And it's like, oh, God, what are you doing? Like,
well, surprisingly, though, he just blew his first save in over a year the other day. And he came back and then got a save the next night. But he's still getting hit up is the point.
So say that's the team that I don't even know who the Marlins closer is. Say the Marlins get him, right?
Yeah, Sergio Romo.
I mean, do we care?
He gets hit up pretty good too.
Right.
I mean, there's a handful of teams. I mean, you could look at Detroit. Shane Green's been
awesome.
He's been good.
Get out of here with that one.
But
Shane Green's getting traded, so I guess maybe Cody Allen will take over for him if that would have happened. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in him. He just hasn't had it this year. I feel like he kind of fell off last year too. With Cleveland, he really wasn't that reliable towards this. Definitely in the second half of the year, he would get a couple saves, and you think that he's coming back around, but then he lets you down, and he's been a complete letdown this whole year. So I have no interest in him. I hope the Phillies don't go after him because I just feel like their bullpen is already in enough trouble as it is, and they're already paying David Robertson to be injured right now, so they don't need their stupid money to be wasted even more so.
Fair enough. I mean, well, let's move on to some injuries. I'll take the first crack here at the batters. Got a lot this week, so we'll try to rip through these as fast as we can. Give the analysis where we need to. Trey Mancini, elbow contusion. I don't know if he played tonight. I meant to look that up before we started. I got the box score up, thankfully. The game just started, so let's find out real quick. No, he's not in. So obviously, still feeling a little soreness, or maybe they're just holding him out, give him a break. But it sounds like he's avoided a serious injury, so you're probably in the clear here. Rafael Devers, hamstring injury. They're saying he should avoid the IL, so nothing there. Probably should have moved this one up to the storage, but this came out really late, right before the show. I didn't have time to prepare a whole lot for it. But Trevor Story injured his thumb. He's now on the IL after getting an MRI. Early reports says he's going to miss a couple of weeks at least. We've got a couple guys, Garrett Hampton, and
Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon there who are going to benefit.
Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers. There's guys that are going to benefit from playing time, but I'm not really super excited about any of them. They've had their chances, and they just don't seem to click, for whatever reasons. So I think if you're going to, if you need shortstop help, you're going to have to look elsewhere. Adalberto Mondesi, proving me wrong big time this year, just being super awesome. I was not interested in him at all. But I was on the show, the Fantasy Pros show yesterday, and Bobby Sylvester, he was telling me about the steals leaders. Mondesi has 9 more steals than the next guy. That's crazy. My gosh. Dude, this is killing it, dude. But he's had a groin injury that's held him out for a little while now. They're saying it's not getting worse, but it's not getting any better. So take that for what you will, man. Looks like you're going to have to go at least find a replacement. You're not cutting Mondesi, clearly, but it's one of those. You got to go find somebody to plug in that hole. Mike Moustakas, he's been day-to-day after getting hit by a pitch on Tuesday. Byron Buxton, he landed on the IL just this past week with a wrist contusion. Brandon Nimmo, somebody who we thought was going to be returning very soon, just last week even. He was shut back down after suffering a setback with his neck. They're thinking August. I mean, at this point, you're just cutting bait with him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with him. Hunter Pence, man, comeback story of the year, man, feel good story of the year, clearly, right? And just to let you all know, Mike Moustakas played tonight, so there we go on that one. Anyway, Hunter Pence, groin injury. They're hoping for a minimum stay on the IL, but groin injuries, the soft tissue injuries, man, those can linger. So just keep an eye out for it. But he's been good this year, so you probably want to hang on to him if it's not going to be that long. And then Yandy Diaz landed on the IL with a right hammy strain. It's retroactive to the 17th of June, so I don't know what the time frame is for him. But, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be too bad though. You got pitchers.
Yep. So we've got Sean Newcombe, who got hit in the back of the head on a comebacker, I believe against Philly. Actually, yeah, it was JT Realmuto, I believe.
Dirty
that hit
Phillies,
it.
man.
I know. It's like, well, is this how you're gonna win now? You can't get your bats going, so you got to take pitchers out. But yeah, so scary injury. It looked like he was potentially actually lined up to come back out of the bullpen. And this game happened, or this injury happened with him coming in as a starter. But he's got a concussion, so he went on the IL-7. But he is already throwing on the side, so hopefully, what I was reading was that he potentially could have came back yesterday to be back in the bullpen, but they decided to put him on the IL. So keep an eye on that. His teammate Kevin Gausman, or Kevin Gosawful, is on the IL with plantar fasciitis. So maybe that's part of why he's been pitching so poor.
Hey,
Or it's just
remember when everybody
'cause
just
he
said he
sucks.
needed to get out of Baltimore to be good?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
how about that? Oh, wait, that was
good.
also me.
Yeah, yeah.
How about that?
So keep an eye on him. That he should probably be out for easily a few weeks dealing with that. Kyle Hendricks is looking at a late July return from his shoulder inflammation. They've got a couple of different plug-and-play guys there. I think Tyler Chatwood was getting a start either yesterday or today. I don't know who they're going to plug and play in there, but keep an eye on that. Clevenger, turd, has been on the freaking IL 60.
Turd? You say turd?
Turd.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a big chocolate swirl poop emoji.
All right. I need to go find that poop emoji and put it on the slide deck here.
Put it on the slide. Yeah.
We should just have a big poop emoji next to the injuries update. That's a good
one. We might as well. Yeah. These guys are now all poop. Yeah, Clevenger came back earlier this week for a start on Monday after just, getting off the IL 60, like I said. Pitched pretty poorly, and now he's back on the IL.
He stumbled apparently off. I didn't watch it. He stumbled off the mound or some goofy stuff like that, and then busted his ankle. Okay.
Yeah. So he has this ankle injury. He went 4 2/3. He only gave up 3 hits, but also gave up 3 walks and 5 earned. Had 7 Ks, so that's nice. But he took the loss on Monday against the Rangers. He's currently still listed as day-to-day, but based on the news on his
no, he's on the IL
tag here.
My bad.
No. I'm on ESPN still showing him as DTD.
We all know,
but
that.
It says he's expected to land on the IL. So, I don't know. This guy's been such a downer aside from the first few games. So, if you've got the spot to store him, go for it. Syndergaard is hamstring injury. He's hopeful for a late June return. His teammate Urias Familia is back on the IL as of Tuesday with a recurrent bone spur issue. Kyle Barraclaw is on the IL with a radial nerve irritation in his right forearm. So a couple of the guys in the bullpen for Washington are back up and running now. Wander Suero and Tanner Rainey are filling in there. And John Means with Baltimore is the last guy we got listed here. He's on the IL with a left shoulder strain. He's currently listed as being out through the All-Star break. So we already talked about Lopez and Hill.
So I'm checking Roto World right now just to kind of see what's going on. A couple of quick updates. Nolan Arenado fouled a ball off his toe today, and it sounds like the X-rays came back negative, but he says it's very painful. So I expect him to miss at least a couple games, but it sounds like he's going to try to play through it as much as possible. Mitch Haniger, the unspeakable injury. I love how they just call it a groin injury. Not really.
It's not a groin injury.
Not really at all.
His ball broke open.
I'm done with you.
So that's what I heard.
Anyway, they're now saying he could be sidelined through the All-Star break, which honestly is only like another few weeks, which isn't totally surprising. But anyway, that's what we got. Oh, actually, whoa, Johnny Cueto sighting. Hello, he's slated for a bullpen session. Excuse me, Johnny Cueto's still alive? Not to make a joke of that, but seriously, I had no idea this guy was even trying to play again.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. Hey, Johnny Cueto, come back. You were fun. I like your wind up. All right, man, give us some bullpen action.
All right, so already kind of talked about Cody Allen, Carlos Martinez a little bit. The biggest news from this week is that Raisel Iglesias, your boy, thanks to my drop, is no longer a lock for the saves in Cincy.
That's all right. We have I'm good.
2 days. Well, yeah, true. That doesn't really matter in that league. But Michael Lorenzen has officially made this bullpen a fantasy six-pack hammered wingmen committee.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's shaky for damn sure, or whatever you want to call it. Calling the Uber, whatever you call it,
2 days
maybe.
straight.
Two
Yeah, I
games
mean,
straight? Was it really two?
We can add a new topic if we need to. Where's my Uber?
I thought he got to save like last night.
Who? Iglesias?
Yeah.
No.
Am I making that up? I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up.
He has no saves this
3-2.
week.
He went 3-2 last night.
And he did not get the save.
Because they came back.
Because they
came back at the end. I swear he got it. Anyway, keep going.
No. He does not have a save since the 9th of June. He has 2 holds because they brought him in the 8th, both Monday and Tuesday of this week.
It's fine with me.
Tuesday was kind of a not necessarily his issue, but he came in, got 2 outs at the end of the 8th. Then his position in the lineup was up in the 9th. So you knew they weren't going to let him bat. Right. So they pulled him again, put Lorenzen back in, and he shut the door. So he's got 2 straight saves, from Monday to Tuesday. And then all 3 of their top options, the Iglesias, Lorenzen, and Amir Garrett, had all pitched in 3 straight. So that's the big news there. I have it listed as committee for now, but we'll see how long that lasts. Out in Oakland, you got Liam Hendricks taking over the setup role. Lou Trevino has just been terrible lately, but Hendricks continues to just lock it down, getting hold after hold after hold. So we've bumped him up on the chart. Chicago Cubbies, you got a Kimbrel sighting. Earlier this week, he pitched his first outing for AAA Iowa, and he'll pitch again tomorrow. Hopefully he only needs a couple more outings there to get back up to speed and everything. But then he should potentially get called up maybe late next week. If not, I would say early the following week. Right around this time frame was kind of what they were initially thinking, but I read 2 to 3 weeks. So I guess really this is kind of the bigger news here too. Mr. Ian Kennedy is now a saves machine. This guy has 5 straight saves with 8 Ks in his last 4.1 innings pitched, which was 5 games because only one of the games, I guess he came in to lock it down with the 1 out. So committee be damned. Willie Peralta, Jake Diekman, not part of the committee anymore. This is his game until further notice. Hosea Alvarado still not available for Tampa Bay. He has not pitched since June the 1st, I believe.
Yeah, what's up with him? Like he took like too much time off for his baby be born or something crazy like that. Is that what I read?
I don't know. I didn't know what. All I read was that it was a family issue that he was back home in Venezuela for. I didn't know if it was a baby or something, somebody was sick or what.
Yeah, but he took too much time off. Like he took more than you're supposed to be.
Yeah, he was only supposed to be out up to 7 days. He passed that and then got put on some restricted list.
Yeah.
And now he has to basically work through what they're calling a abbreviated spring training to get back up to speed. So
that's so nuts.
I mean, he's here. He's back in the U.S. now as of last weekend. So we'll see. He's been killing me in F6P League, just wasting away as a roster spot. Minnesota, I went ahead and put Rogers as the lead closer now. We've kind of been hinting at this. We've had him as the lead guy of the committee between him and Blake Parker. But Parker doesn't even have a save since the 7th of June. And he keeps continuing to get bypassed for save opportunities, actually, too. Trevor May has gotten a save in the meantime. He's been pitching well as well. So we went ahead and removed the hammered wingman status from Minnesota. That's pretty much it. I mean, the big thing going back up to the Chicago, we still have Brandon Morrow listed on IL. I mean, this has to make him an easy trade candidate. at this point.
He's got to come back and get healthy first and show that he can.
Well, yeah, he's still out.
But yeah, Kimbrel coming back any day now. So yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, let's finish things off here with some waiver wire action, and I don't know. This is why we need Keith, man. I lost the waiver wire slide. I don't know what I did. So we just get to look at the F6P logo for a little while. No
just
big
the
deal.
beer of the week back up. I don't know. But
if I had somebody give me another one.
Yeah.
I'm empty. Anyway.
Waiver ads. So, I had Jorge Soler listed here. Soler. He's 50% owned.
Yeah, he's a bit
according
high.
to Yahoo. So that's a little high.
Dude, I love your next one, man. Mercado is my boy, man. I like picking him up. I was looking at him when he got called up, and I almost pulled the trigger on him, but I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really know a whole lot about him. But
yeah,
dude,
46% owned already. He's starting to finally get some traction. People are going after him. He's got 12 runs, 3 homers, 9 ribbies, 4 steals, along with 12 singles in the last 15 games. So
he's only been up for a couple of weeks, so that's phenomenal numbers.
Yeah, I think he's been up for just over that 15 game mark. I think he's got 6 total steals, but still he's crushing it. So
yeah,
he's finally getting the respect, and people are seeing him. I'd already mentioned Ryan McMahon a little bit earlier. He's still only 20% owned. That might go up with the Story news. Brendan Rodgers did get called back up, like we had mentioned. He was only sent down for 5 days, so I still feel like he's going to get more of the starts at short. But McMahon has at least 1 hit in his last 6 games. And does have 5 runs and 8 ribbies in his last 3, so he's kind of getting a little, a little worthwhile.
Maybe he's getting hot. Who knows?
Yeah, and then pitchers,
Colorado, man. I'll take
pitchers. We got. We already talked about Jordan Yamamoto, Mike Fiers. Surprisingly, dude, he has 37.1 innings pitched, 22 Ks, which is a little low. But 0.96 WHIP, 3.13 ERA, 4-0 with 6 straight quality starts in his last 6 games.
Yeah.
All of them quality starts. He's just been a model of Bob Lung consistency right now. So
love it. We're getting Bob Lung on the show.
He has been awesome.
No. I mentioned Mike Fiers yesterday on the Fantasy Pros show, dude. That's a phenomenal one. Now, the only thing I'll say about him is, dude, it's not going to continue. And the strikeouts are super low. But ride it while it lasts, guys. Like, that's the type of guy you can just pick up, and as soon as he gets rocked, cut his ass. Like, who cares? Like,
you got
he's
going to get rocked.
He will
maybe
eventually
get rocked for 2 straight games, but then he's going to come back and throw another 4 quality starts. Maybe go 3-0. He's a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's been solid. He's not going to be this good. In fact, if you go back farther with his numbers since his start in, when was it? I took his numbers and I tried to pull up my notes, but for some dumb reason I closed my notepad from yesterday. If you go back a couple weeks earlier than what you did, his numbers are way better. Than that. So he's just been unbelievable. He's only allowed 3 runs twice or something like that in the last 9 starts or something crazy. It was weird, like what I found out. And yeah, he needs to be owned in way more than 38% of leagues.
I agree. That's based on Yahoo. So depending on your provider, I guess.
Your provider.
your site. I don't know.
Is a cell phone network?
Yes, exactly. So take a look, see if he's out there. But yeah, definitely we'll keep an eye on him. And then the last guy we have listed here is Anibal Sanchez. His last 3 starts, I think. Last 4 starts. He's 3-0 with 3 quality starts. 23 and a third innings, 18 Ks, 0.77 WHIP, and a 1.54 ERA. So he actually kind of screwed me. Well, I screwed myself with him, sort of. Yeah. Last week I was in a tight matchup, and had him as a potential second start, picked him up for the first start of the week, got good points, but got greedy and was behind, so I dropped him for somebody else, and then dropped that player for Ariel Gerardo, who we were talking about last week.
Yeah, no good. No bueno.
Yeah. So it was a 36 point swing.
Ouch.
Because Sanchez, I think, got a 19. Yeah, he got a 19. Gerardo hooked me up with a super, super awesome negative 17, completing the 36 point swing, and I lost by 27 points.
Oh, man.
So
stop tinkering, jerk.
Kick me in the Mitch Haniger right now, and
dude.
you know,
dude,
too soon.
Stop kicking the guy while he's already down, man. Like, for real, leave him alone.
Yeah. Well, he's on my DL on the league, so I have rights to his balls, I guess. I don't know.
He's feeling bad enough, man. Just let him sit at home with the ice pack.
So I went back and I picked Sanchez up in the same league for this week,
right,
and I'm starting him tomorrow.
He's definitely spot started. Like, you know, you're leaving these guys alone when they're playing like the Milwaukees and the Colorados and stuff, but yeah, they're good otherwise. All right, man. Well, I think we've gone past our time. We will call it a night. We are going to be off next week. I'm going to be in Puerto Vallarta, so I'm going to be drinking beer by the pool.
Nice.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I got a little destination wedding that I'm going to, so it's going to be good times. I'm not going to be calling into a show that week, so nope, sorry.
No, me neither.
Yep. So I will we'll catch you guys up maybe 4th of July week. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what we're going to do because 4th of July is a Thursday, so we'll have to do a Wednesday.
It's Thursday,
we'll
so
have to do
we
a
won't
Wednesday
be doing a show that night.
We'll be doing a show Wednesday maybe if we can catch something
Wednesday,
up. But,
maybe Tuesday.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Might be our last baseball show because we got to kick in the football soon. So
yeah, that we do.
Right.
So a little update before we go. Julio Urias has gone 3 strong, given up 1 hit, 5 Ks, sitting on 13 points right now, but he's at 43 pitches, I believe, something like that, low 40s. So I just don't think he's going to go
soon, but yeah,
he might have another inning in him. But yeah, the 13 on my bench kind of hurts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It happens. All right, man. See you later. Everybody, good night and good luck. See ya.
Cheers.